G'day mate and welcome back to Factorio with me, JD. Now look, I feel really bad. Last episode we were doing blueprint, we were doing solar, and I should have really had a solar blueprint ready to go, ready to paste in, and all that jazz. And I didn't have that, and I feel like I should apologize. I should be better prepared. I should have more of these things built. No, you're inside robot range. We just need 9 more of them. Found the 9. Okay. I should be better prepared. And that's entirely my fault. And this is why this episode, we're going to recover solar and the accumulators really, really quickly. Especially now we've got batteries upgraded. So, in the description, and if it's not in the description, please, somebody in the comments, write so I will make sure I fix it up, is this blueprint. So, we're going to delete that one. So I'm going to import a string, and I'm going to paste in that string. Now, this is a blueprint of mine from the past, okay? So we're going to import that, and it's going to give me errors because it's got solar panels that, well, solar builds that don't exist anymore. And if I put that there, it now, no, if I put that there, it now becomes part of my, my blueprints, and at the same time, if I click it and I pop it down there, it's not in my inventory, because that's the little one we're playing with earlier. This is a shortcut link to the one in my blueprints. So if we bring this up, it's got a bunch of solar panels in it, or solar builds in it. Now these are not perfectly to ratio, but they're close. So we've got a small solar field, and as you can see, it's got a roboport, it's got a couple of substations around the outside. It's a tiny build for when you're just getting started, when you don't have a lot of solar panels, or you haven't been like me and just made massive production. Then we've got a slightly larger one. This has got a better ratio. On top of that, it is much more square, so we can see that the logi range only just extends, you know, it builds up almost to the edge of the logi range. So we can tile this one very, very easily and have the roboports connect. The next one, oh, and there's 2 versions of this, one with the radar in the bottom left-hand corner, one without. And the main reason for that is I cannot place something over here and have the parts that go down in the fog of war area be placed, because I can't see what I'm doing. So this one comes with a radar that you can obviously push forward and make sure you have radar coverage so you can see what you're doing, so you can keep placing this one remotely, because that's the idea. You can place these large builds from map view, and you don't actually have to run over there and physically place it. The robots will take care of it. The next one, if I get the scroll wheel to go the right way, is a blueprint, and I'll put it there. Actually, let's put it all the way up here so we can see it properly. So this is one made by one of you guys, you know, a viewer of mine. Matthias would have been almost 2 years ago, actually, when I was doing my Gigabase series, back in version 14 of Factorio. He actually contacted me with this solar build, and between myself and himself, we actually improved it slightly. And then I got frustrated with having to stamp it down one at a time, so I duplicated it into 4s, which is about, if we go to map view, takes up pretty much the whole screen, and that's really the intention of this blueprint, to be able to paste down a whole screen's worth and have the robots just work on it in the background. Lastly, there is one more blueprint here, which is the exact same blueprint as the Matthias build, except it doesn't have the solar power and the accumulator. So you might ask, why do you want that, JD? It meant when I'm pasting down large sections, I can actually paste down the roboports and the substations, so I have a robo network and a power network miles ahead of where the solar panels are being physically placed. So I could paste down half a dozen of these, have the robots go build those, because obviously they're going to build the roboports, you know, on the left-hand side, and then realize they can build further out. They'll build further out. They'll go back to base, so on and so forth. Building solar panels via robots is not a speedy task, but it's automated, so, well, semi-automated, so who cares? So yeah, they take a while to get this built, and then I could come back and I'd paste that over the top. And then just get it done. Now, the only thing that this build does not have is it does not include a radar anywhere. So when you paste it down, I normally recommend somewhere in the grid, wherever's the closest to the fog of war, you literally just remove one solar panel and put down a radar instead, and the robots will just pop it down. So after saying all that, what we're actually going to do is we're going to decommission this, because I don't actually want that there. And I'm going to scroll over here to this big, large patch we have doing nothing. And we've extended red circuits all the way out. Green circuits, I don't think will extend, but there's always a chance. There's always a chance we might extend that further. We might take another 2 copper belts or 1.5 copper belts further down and extend the whole build. So I'm going to build it right beside it, and we're going to go with our solar build. We're going to go with the Matthias version. And I'm going to pop that right there. Now, one thing that I do have to mention is we can see this substation when I bring it up, doesn't actually connect back to the main network. So one thing I should probably do first is just slide the whole build down just a little bit to get either a substation in at the top or a large electric pole to actually join it back into the main network. And we're just going to pop a substation right there. As you can see, substation 1 talks to substation 2, talks to the medium power pole. Everybody's happy. And then we can now show off this build. And all you have to do is line up the power connection with the edge of the previous power build. Okay. Or if the robots are already placed down, which the robots are not doing because I deconstructed things first and they're all busy picking up crap. Let's just stop picking up crap for a minute. There we go. We've got that robot port down. So line up the power so the blue area touches the solar panels, and at the same time you can see that the robot ports connect to their neighboring robot ports. So I can paste that one down as well. And this one, they can't put down the solar because there is no solar, but they can build the power network in place, and then I can paste the solar panels over the top. Now, obviously, I'd like to build further south, but I can't because the wall's in here. But because it's a copy of, because there's just 4 of them stamped together, I can do this. I can just overlay that on top of that, and it'll build the solar field down to, where would that build down to? Down to there. That's fine. That's more than fine. Okay, so now we can go back to deconstructing things, autosave, deconstructing that. Now, the other thing I really want to get done, like now we've got batteries slightly improved, I hope. They take a long time to craft. They take 5 seconds? 4 seconds. 4 seconds and a lot of acid, and it turns out we might be short on acid. We're purely short on how long it takes to make the acid. It's all ratioed. We're just using it as fast as we're getting it, because how much acid do you need? 20. No, that machine had 5 in it, where that one's short on acid. Okay, so again, we're just gonna duplicate some stuff. We're just gonna copy that and pop that. Yep. We're gonna pop it there. The belts are not important. It's literally just most of the pipe network. Nope, that's not the water connection. That's the water connection. Okay, that's the water connection. That's, come on, the petroleum connection. And the belt connection is literally straight down there. The pipe out for acid can go from there to there to there with that pipe in there. Done. The only thing I haven't hooked up is I haven't hooked up the inserters to the red wire, which I'll have to physically go over and do that manually, but the rest of it should be able to get built anyway. And now we're short on 7 of those. 5, 6, 7. And I'm handcrafted green circuits. No, worse things have happened. Run up a belt of green circuits. 5, 6, 7. Okay. So, we've got that done, we've got that done. So the next thing I need is I need more utility science. So, utility science has 3 parts to it. We have the processing units, which we built over here. Which we also need on the main bus for a whole bunch of other things. We have the flying robot frames, which we've already built previously, and we're going to sort of steal the build, the blueprints. We've already built it, so there's no point reinventing the wheel. We can just use essentially what we have already. And we have the low density structures. Now, low density structures I'd really like yesterday, because they will also help us with some of this more advanced personal armor and tech that I'd really like to be using for combat. Okay. And unfortunately we don't have anything to do with science, because I really want to talk through what we're going to do science-wise as we're doing it. So, first thing we're going to do is I'm going to work this one backward. I'm going to start at yellow science, which means it takes 21 seconds and we get 3 of them, which means it should be the exact same ratio as our purple, which was 7 from memory. It's still 7. So we want 7 of these guys, and I'm going to put them here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to set you to yellow science. Now, I have blue circuits there. They're going to feed straight in. That's not a problem. We're not going to ratio those at all. We can just extend that build if we need to, and we'll probably need to, providing somebody didn't put oil in the way. We could jump over the oil and then extend it all the way down to we hit the bottom of the lake. So step 1 is the utility science. Step 2 is going to be the flying robot frames. Now, these guys take 21 seconds, so that's the magic number we're working with. Our robot frames take 20 seconds, so they're slightly faster. Which means if I build 7 of them, I'm good. I know I'll have the right amount. I'll actually have slightly too many. Now, robot frames need electrical engine units, which take 10 seconds. So I can come over here, and they take half as long, so I need half as many. And we can slot those guys in. And I can pop them there. So, for one of these, I need one of these. I need half as many of these. And then these guys need engine units, which also take 10 seconds. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So again, I can run 4 of these guys, making engines. Now, in saying that, we already have, earlier on in the bus, we already have engines right here. Plus over here, I have electric engines. Plus over here, I have robot frames. Now, I have 7 of those and 11 of those. So technically, I'll just increase our defenses around the edge. Technically, if I went to my robot frames and I've got 11, that's already more than I need. But I've got 7 of these guys, which is dragging off there. So I could potentially extend out further the engine build slightly, to then extend the electric engine build out slightly, to then extend out the robot frame build slightly, to then take the robot frames we're already making and put them on the bus, bring them all the way over here and run them into yellow science. Which, now after you go through all the process, sounds like actually probably not a bad idea. So, we're going to run back up to where this is being built. And I am going to run past oil. So we're going to turn on our personal robots really quickly. Hello? What are you waiting for? Pop them down. That's broken. Sulfur. Can't mix fluids. Do I get the fluids in? Ah, shit. Okay. Have you remove pipe and pipe. This is a new problem with the non-mixing of fluid dynamic thing. All those pipes looked perfectly fine to me, but sure, let's just pull up all the pipes. Okay, paste. We don't need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. I need red wire to go from that to that to that, because they're set up to run off that. It's petroleum. Oh, it is water on the far outside. Oh, my bad. Okay. Okay. Water is all the way over here. This is why nothing ever gets done. I keep getting sidetracked. You are petroleum. Done. Okay. You're now magnificent and you will build and you will work. Petroleum, petroleum, yes, you're magnificent and you shall work. Our inserters are hooked up to our pump. Yep, everything's all hooked up. Great, we can walk away and leave that alone. And we're running this way for engines. That's what I was doing. See, completely sidetracked already. Okay, so our engine build. Now, I'm going to assume I was smart and I did some sort of ratio thing up here. And I have 8 pipe every second. These guys need 2 pipe every 10 seconds. So I can potentially support 20 of them. And I have 15. So if I copy and I grab the last 5 and literally paste them on the end, we should be good to go. Turn off that. Really? We're taking damage everywhere. The biters are getting savage and our lasers are not getting upgraded. Because we've sort of maxed out the current tech that we have. Okay, so I now have however many that was, 20 of those. We've already got 7 of these guys. And only needed 4, 5. And I needed how many of those? I need 7 for that, and I've got 11. So we were just going to take this 7, and we're going to take this 11 out to be 14. So we had an even number. 11, I want 14, so I want the last 4 really, or 3 really, to paste on there. Okay, now our green circuits still need to do what they were doing earlier, which is to be side loaded out the bottom and fed into that machine to make construction robots. Power pole there and there and there. So that still needs to be done. Now the other thing that needs to be done is our robot frames need to, essentially they need to go up to the bus. But at the same time we want to use them down here. So it's probably easiest if I, first off, spin this around and run this up. And then I put in a splitter like that. And then because it's already on that side of the belt, I can literally just use an underground to pass half the belt over there, and we are good as done. At least at this end. Getting it onto the bus might be another problem because I just haven't left myself space, which has been a ongoing problem throughout the whole bus. What are you missing? A light. A light can go away. And it's something that, look, honestly, I think I've said this before. I could have built around and left myself a whole lot more space, actually. Or I could do what I'm about to do, which is literally take stuff to the other side of the belt, the other side of the bus. So if I underground U to get me a tile's worth of gap, then underground U and underground U, we can come this underground up to here. Of course there's a row report in the way. Why wouldn't there be a row report in the way? There to there to... That'll be the next tile. Yep. Really? There's trees in the way again. In fact, there's a whole forest coming up. Yep. Bye, robots. Clear off that stuff. I want a roboport there. With a power connection there and there. Yep. I also want a roboport up. I had a heap in my inventory. Yep, right there. You can go right there. You know what? Zoom all the way in. Nope. Almost. Okay. That should be good enough. And we'll hold down the spacebar and just run along the belt. Just to confirm, to make sure there's no gaps like that one. And we'll just have the robots build the whole belt. Okay. That'll get us that far. So we need 2 processing units, 1 robot frame, and 3 low density structures. So that means logically, we want probably science coming out on one side and 3 inputs on 3 different belts, because that just sort of makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. So we can do that and that, and put that in, put that in. Okay, so that's now blueprintable and repeatable. We're going to take our blue circuits straight to there, straight along here, and quite simply split it off and bring blue circuits in. That's 1 down. The rest of blue circuits will continue up this way into the end of the bus. Okay, robot frames and low density structures. So low density structures are still yet to be built, so they're going to be on the left. So logically, we don't probably want to bring them in here. We actually want to bring them probably right beside this iron line. And we can just zigzag them over when they get down there. That one. So that'll bring in our robot frames after we do that final zigzag. Copy, paste, paste, paste. I don't need the bottom one at all. So we can just get rid of all the excess belts. Voila. Okay. Same time, we can also get rid of all of that because we don't need it anymore. And we need to look at the low density structures, which are right here, which need This is going to be a doozy. This is why it's probably going to be in the next episode. These need 20 copper plate, plus they need 2 steel, and then they need 5 plastic bars. And they also take 20 seconds. So we're going to need another 7 of these, doing those. Plus we need even more when it comes to actually launching a rocket, because this is one of the main components, along with rocket fuel, to go into a rocket. So we actually need a very, very, very long build, because they take 20 seconds to craft. So we're going to need quite a few of them. Which is going to mean a lot of copper coming off our bus and heading down here. So that's also something else we're going to keep in mind. But we've got robots frames down here. So that's another thing built. And we were able to just steal it from further up the bus. What are you complaining about? A normal power pole. That can go away. Yeah, we were just able to steal it off an existing build. Now that you have that piece of experience of seeing me go through and steal off an existing build, I strongly recommend that when you build your base, you do exactly this. You make sure that your engine build is long enough to do what's required for blue science, plus a little bit extra, so you got engines, plus a little bit extra to then do the electric engines, plus a few extra electric engines, so you've got some in the network, plus then robot frames for robots, plus a little bit more of this with a little bit more of that with a little bit more of that to finally do your yellow science at the far other end of the tech tree. A little bit of forward planning can really help. As you can see, my forward planning was not exactly great, as always. And now we've still got yellow belt. I found a problem. That's the problem. Feeding 2 yellow belts into 2 red belts tends to have a weird effect. But you can see that our balancing system works perfectly as intended. Everything's being pushed down the belts constantly. So we went from 2 belts down to 2 different belts that are now running at twice the speed, so it can be compressed down to 1 belt. And all the excess production that I've had is being forced. There we go. There's copy, paste. That's like literally right near us. And again, I didn't do the right thing, and I didn't do this. So yeah, we can see all our production's being forced down. Unfortunately, what ends up on the top belt can't really be forced down till the next, like after the next join. It is a small, not really a fault, it is a limitation of the system. I'll put it that way. So yeah, but we got acid done and doubled. So we now got 2k acid, the pump turns off, all the inserters turn off. So we've got acid maxed out. We now looks like we're short on iron to run our batteries, which is probably as simple as upgrade the belt. That's already upgraded. Yep, it's just that little belt there. We could upgrade that. We'll get twice the throughput. That'll probably fix the problem entirely. If not, I can always take a dedicated iron belt to feed sulfuric acid, and take a second iron copper split belt down here to feed all the guys making batteries. But we got that done. We got solar placed down. As you can see, first big solar blueprint is already put down. And if I bring up, which is something I should have done at the time, if I bring up solar, we're now producing over a 10-minute graph. We are now producing at least half our power with solar. You can see our accumulators. This is something we're going to have to get to in a future episode. Our accumulators are basically doing nothing, because at the night time when our solar panels turn off, the steam engines are kicking on. So we need to make our steam engines a little bit smarter so they actually turn off unless they're needed, which we can do fairly easily. At the same time, I'm going to paste down these blueprints and get some more solar whacked down on the map. Because it's going to take the robots a little bit of time. Like, there's 1,500 robots just disappeared into going and getting stuff built. The other thing is I really need to look at storage again, because although we set up a lot of recycling, like there's 400 and something construction robots sitting in the network doing nothing, along with some wood that's ended up in the wrong spot, because this guy is not quite full, but he might as well be, because he can't get a blank spot to put any wood on the map, on the belt. Lots of things to be done. Anyway, I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I do hope you're enjoying the series. We're getting closer and closer to the end, slowly. But yeah, as always, if you've got any questions, any thoughts, anything I screwed up, by all means, put them down in the comment section below. I love reading you guys' comments. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Alright, bye.